Paradise Lost. A glimpse beyond the postcard. Jamaica. The name conjures up images of paradise. White sand beaches stretch endlessly. Turquoise waters shimmer under a golden sun. Tourists sip rum cocktails, lulled by reggae rhythms. But this is only half the story. Beyond the resorts and the carefully curated tourist trails lies another Jamaica. Here, poverty and violence cast long shadows. Neighborhoods struggle under the weight of crime and despair. This is the Jamaica tourists rarely see, a world away from the glossy postcards. This is the story of Jamaica's Shadowlands. These are places where beauty and brutality coexist, where hope struggles to bloom amidst hardship. These forgotten corners of Jamaica hold a mirror to the island's complex soul. They demand our attention. They challenge us to look beyond the surface. Concrete jungles and emerald hills, a troubled beauty. Jamaica's urban landscape is a study in contrasts. Towering skyscrapers rise above sprawling slums. Gleaming new developments stand in stark opposition to dilapidated housing projects. The air, thick with the scent of salt and sea, is often punctuated by the acrid smell of burning garbage. Kingston, the capital, embodies this duality. Here, vibrant markets pulse with life. Music spills from street corners. Yet just a few streets away, neighborhoods like Trenchtown and Tivoli Gardens bear the scars of poverty and violence. But even in these neglected corners, beauty persists. Hibiscus flowers bloom in defiant bursts of color. The rhythmic patois of everyday conversation fills the air with a musicality that transcends hardship. And always, the lush green mountains loom in the distance, a constant reminder of nature's enduring power. This is the paradox of Jamaica, a country where stunning natural beauty coexists with deep-seated social and economic problems. Echoes of empire, the seeds of violence. Understanding Jamaica's present requires looking back at its past. The island's history is one of colonialism, slavery, and exploitation. The scars of this brutal past run deep. They continue to shape the present. Centuries of British rule created a legacy of inequality and injustice. After emancipation in 1834, the plantation system was replaced by a new form of economic exploitation. The poor, predominantly black population was left marginalized and disenfranchised. This legacy of inequality created fertile ground for the rise of gangs and organized crime. In the 1960s and 70s, political factions armed young men in Kingston's ghettos. These armed groups, initially tools of political power, soon morphed into powerful criminal organizations. The violence that plagues Jamaica today is a direct result of this turbulent history. It's a cycle of poverty, inequality, and violence that has proven difficult to break. Section 4, Trapped. Voices from Jamaica's Shadowlands. To understand the realities of Jamaica's most dangerous neighborhoods, we must listen to the voices of those who live there. Their stories are raw, honest, and heartbreaking. They speak of daily struggles, unimaginable loss, and a constant fear that permeates every aspect of life. Meet Nadine, a single mother of 3 who lives in a one-room shack in Trenchtown. She works tirelessly as a street vendor, selling fruit to provide for her children. But her meager income is barely enough to put food on the table. Every day is a struggle, she says, her voice weary but resolute. I just want a better life for my children, a chance for them to get an education, to break free from this cycle of poverty. Then there's Mark, a young man who grew up witnessing unimaginable violence. He lost his brother to gang violence when he was just 15. Now he fights to stay on the right path, to resist the lure of the streets. He dreams of becoming a musician, of using his voice to inspire change. These are just 2 stories among thousands, each one a testament to the resilience of the human spirit in the face of overwhelming odds. These are the stories that need to be heard, for they hold the key to understanding the complexities of Jamaica's Shadowlands. Section 5. Despair's breeding ground. Poverty, inequality, and neglect. The root causes of violence in Jamaica's most dangerous neighborhoods are complex and interconnected. However, one thing is clear: Poverty, inequality, and government neglect have created a breeding ground for despair and violence. Unemployment rates in these communities are staggeringly high. Educational opportunities are limited, trapping young people in a cycle of poverty. Basic infrastructure like sanitation and healthcare is often lacking. This neglect by the state has left communities vulnerable to the influence of gangs and criminal elements. With few economic opportunities, young people are often lured into a life of crime, perpetuating the cycle of violence. Addressing the root causes of violence in Jamaica requires a multi-pronged approach. It demands investment in education, job creation, and social programs. It requires tackling systemic inequality and empowering communities to break free from the cycle of poverty and violence. Section 6. Seeds of Hope. Green shoots in barren lands. Despite the overwhelming challenges, glimmers of hope shine through the darkness. Across Jamaica's most troubled communities, individuals and organizations are working tirelessly to create a brighter future. In the heart of Trenchtown, a community center offers after-school programs and vocational training for youth. Here, children find a safe haven from the violence, a place to learn, play, and dream. Local heroes like Sister Marcia, a tireless advocate for peace and justice, work diligently to mediate conflicts and provide support to families affected by violence. Her efforts, though seemingly small, are making a tangible difference in the lives of many. These grassroots initiatives, fueled by the unwavering spirit of the Jamaican people, offer a beacon of hope. They demonstrate that even in the face of adversity, change is possible. They remind us that the cycle of violence can be broken, one life, one community at a time. Section 7. A Global Mirror, Jamaica's Fight, Humanity's Challenge. The challenges facing Jamaica's most dangerous neighborhoods are not unique to the island. They are a reflection of a global crisis, a symptom of systemic inequality and marginalization that plagues communities around the world. From the favelas of Brazil to the townships of South Africa, the story is tragically familiar: poverty, violence, and a lack of opportunity. Jamaica's struggle is a stark reminder that we are all interconnected, that injustice anywhere is a threat to justice everywhere. The fight for justice and equality in Jamaica is a fight for all of us. It demands a global response, a commitment to addressing the root causes of poverty and violence. It requires us to acknowledge our shared humanity, to recognize that the fate of one community is inextricably linked to the fate of all. Let Jamaica's story be a call to action. Let us work together to create a world where all people, regardless of where they come from, have the opportunity to live in peace, dignity, and hope.